Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze is sponsored by Cole Obarts Entertainment, providing amusement, celebration, and distraction since 2013. To find out more, visit us on the web at www.coleobartsent.com.
Welcome back. Today I am here with the award-winning fashion designer and celebrated founder of J.C. Donaldson, House of Donaldson.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Such a pleasure to have you. Looking all dapper.
That's the I understood the assignment. That's what we're focused on.
Yes, you understood being dapper.
Mm-hmm.
So, J.C., everyone knows J.C. Donaldson, the man. I'd like to know a little bit about the younger JC and how you got started with being dapper.
Well,
and let's start off telling what being dapper is first.
Well, being dapper, folks, is a lifestyle. But it's really, I started it in college in 2011. It was covering fashion, etiquette, financial literacy, and it's in travel, right?
Uh-huh.
The reason why I started the blog in 2011 was to give younger men strength, right? Of not having to deal with a group of folks saying, hey, you should do it like this or do it like, and those are a huge gap.
Right.
The divorce rate skyrocketing, the father's not in, and by no means am I trying to be anybody's father.
Sure.
But also just giving these type of tips, these style tips, just to help to equip you better in life. That's what the Being Dapper was initially founded upon those principles, right?
Okay.
And the fashion segment came a little bit later. Okay. So I would travel the world with a terrible run and shoot camera. I'll be in Piccadilly Circus, Turkey, Paris, and all these different places around there, Montreal, and just going by myself because a lot of times it's fear, right?
Okay. But you said you gave some names. You're originally from Texas, right?
From Texas.
So someone may not know those names that you were throwing out there. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So as a young man, where did this inspiration come from for you?
Well, I've always been becoming more fashion forward type of person anyway. So that was just that, and really it was my mother's idea. She's like, you should start up a blog. I was like, I don't got time for that because at that time I was in sophomore, junior year in college, and I was already running a small business. I had another business called the Concierge Touch. We were working in the service industry. Didn't have time, 7 employees at the time. And then I was working a full-time job and going to full-time school. So I was like, you want to make a fashion blog on top of all that?
See, you can do it. If you can do all that and still go to college full-time, we can do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I started that blog up, and then eventually, after I graduated college, about 2013, 2014, I moved to Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you moved to Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
the desert. So you got out here.
Mm-hmm.
How was it getting started with the industry out here in Arizona? Because I know Arizona, we're pretty laid back when it comes to fashion. I mean, most men don't walk around in a 3-piece suit dressed as you do, but because it's so casual, because it's hot out here. So how was that start for you?
Well, I saw Phoenix Fashion Week for the first time. I was very impressed. I was like, wow, there's really fashion in the desert. Coming from Dallas-Fort Worth area, we're very cosmopolitan. Much more fashion forward. That's just a norm. You have a lot of high dress codes, and anywhere you go, just can't walk in and look in any type of way.
Right.
So here, but it's much more relaxed because it's the desert. It's hot. But I always feel like this is a scapegoat. But that's my opinion on that, because I always say dress how you want to be addressed.
Right.
So
and that's what I was going to get at. Do you think that that's an excuse we use, that because it's hot we're going to dress any old kind of way, or is it? What advice would you give to someone?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I stay hot. I'm hot all the time. I'm a hot mama. Okay. So what advice would you give to a young man to going to fashion events, going out on his wardrobe?
You don't have to be dressed up to the nines. Like I said, dress how you want to be addressed. But there's a term called smart casual, right? Just some nice khakis, being put together. A nice button up, a white button up, and khakis go a long way. Just taking care of your appearance. Just again, you don't have to being dressed up, because again, being dapper is more of a mindset.
Right.
And
it has a lot to do with the image you want to exude.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is who you are. So
Mhm.
you dress like this.
That's right.
So if you have a certain image that you want to put out there,
Mhm.
that is how you should dress. And speaking with someone as yourself would
Mhm.
be very helpful.
Mhm.
So you've done a lot. You're a young man and you've done a lot.
Mhm.
Tell us some of the things that's gotten you to where you are today.
Well, after seeing Phoenix Fashion Week, I was a little inspired. Somebody invited me, Kim invited me from Phoenix Fashion to the boot camp, and so I was like, nope, just want to blog, leave me alone. So 2014, I said no. 2015, I said no. 2016, I said yes. So I started with something as simple as a flower lapel. By adding that to a suit, I thought that was like, okay, this is a nice accessory. Started selling wholesale to clothiers. From there, talked to some folks in Dallas. They bought some too. They started doing pretty well. So okay, I think I got something here. 2017, I went with they call it the gentleman's t-shirt. That was the concept. Did my first fashion show in the ASU gymnasium at a hair show.
Oh.
Very, very weird, but it was really interesting just to see what people thought. Sold out pretty much of those shirts. So basically the way it worked is because of the desert red, we talk about smart casual,
Mhm.
we put the t-shirt on a blazer and it has like typography or a graphic to
Right.
show like a Dapper concept.
Right.
And then by 2018, I joined the Phoenix Fashion Week Bootcamp. I launched my collection in October. And then we really focused now heavy on contemporary. So 2019 to 2020, I learned more about supply chain and our partners. And we had to do some pivoting in 2020 because of the pandemic, right? So we started working with leather goods, which opened a lot of doors, for us and stuff. We were put our leather goods in stores. By having a small piece, going back to the accessories, right? Having a small piece of you, it helps spread the word about your brand.
Right, right. And one thing we have to put out there, the House of Donaldson.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I mean, you spoke of leather goods. I mean, and it being in Arizona, this is a national company. This isn't an Arizona country. So, I mean, his products can be ordered anywhere, no matter where you live.
Yeah.
So, House of Donaldson, we are an entertainment show, and I like to also make sure that we show our audience that what we're talking about today has something to do with entertainment. As we were speaking about earlier, that the film industry needs people like you. And I mentioned one of our previous guests on last season who does, her shows are pretty much period shows. So why don't we talk a little bit about how a company like House of Donaldson would benefit a production like that?
Absolutely. So with House of Donaldson, we launched that in 2021, last year. Worked with a consultant. And what we do is we deliver confidence through custom luxury. You're the masterpiece, we just add the details. It's completely custom high luxury. So working with a film company or an entertainment, again, your presentation, also understanding. There was a editorial challenge, we killed it by Death on the Nile. That was the movie, right? So you got to be familiar with errors. You got to have a designer / stylist that's familiar with that time period and really is passionate about that, about understanding the assignment. So in film, if somebody says, hey, we're doing a sci-fi film, we're thinking 23rd century, you got to think what that would look like. And you got to be able to also not just style it, but make sure the pieces fit and they look good on set. So it's incredibly important because that's the reason why our biggest focus with our business is technology and fashion. So that way
you said that keyword technology. That was one thing we were speaking about. Is that your degree is in computer science, right?
Actually, my degree is in marketing. But my professional background is in computer science.
Okay, so
yes,
I mean,
but both having both,
right?
Yes.
I mean, they're very important. So those things that you just mentioned, it is so important that you have that expertise and that knowledge to know, hey, was in this period, and this is what they wore in World War II, or this is what they wore back in this.
Exactly.
I mean, that would be a mess to show up and you're coming in the wrong wardrobe for the wrong period.
It's confusing because, again, we're going back to marketing, right? Perception is reality. So people are like, I don't get it. Like, they were wearing that back then.
Right. Can you imagine that?
It just throws the entire vibe off on the movie, from a movie or from a commercial perspective.
Considering, I mean, you think about it, if it's I did this play where it was about these females in the World War II, I believe it was. And we had all these dates we had to memorize. And just think, we had people that were really war heroes sitting in the front row. Can you imagine if we threw out the wrong dates and Okay,
Right, right.
I probably would have got. We probably would have got apples or something thrown at us by those
Mm-hmm.
people. But I'm like, that is so important.
Yes, it is.
That is so
Yes, it is.
important. Well, I want to know more about the House of Donaldson.
Okay.
So, JC, I just want to make sure we're getting this clear. You're still Mr. Being Dapper.
Mm-hmm.
That still exists.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the House of Donaldson.
That's right.
Okay. What? Tell us. You brought us some media on Being Dapper and House
Mm-hmm.
of Donaldson. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're seeing on Being Dapper?
Okay, Being Dapper. Well, with Being Dapper is ready to wear. Our motto is designing dashing apparel for the modern man. Being Dapper is a lifestyle. So we have tuxedo rentals with Being Dapper, men's accessories, and some ready-to-wear suits. But we are working to kind of transform Being Dapper into more of a haberdashery. And for the folks that do not know what that means, basically more of a one-stop shop for men to buy different goods.
Okay.
Not necessarily just from my brand, from everything.
Okay.
Anything that I deem as Being Dapper.
Right.
Right. So that's what we're going to do with Being Dapper.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
We're already kind of in that motion. We're going to go more forward with that motion.
Okay.
So one-stop shop. I'm looking forward to that.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
And next we have House of Donaldson.
Yeah, so House of Donaldson, we deliver confidence through custom luxury. You're the masterpiece. We just add the details. Full custom luxury. So sometimes it can be bespoke, where we do A to Z leather goods, heels, flats, jeans, chinos, polos, suits, and dresses, all coming from there. So we have all these different wonderful people from around the world, wonderful suppliers from around the world, using best of breed materials to bring your custom dream into manifestation. That's what we do. We focus on, you want to take anything from you, you want to add. All other luxury brands are saying, this is it. This is what we got.
Right.
But you might not be, your body might not be able to fit that. Right? You might be taller, shorter, bigger. That's where House of Donaldson comes in.
So you're totally customer focused, and I love that.
Yes.
I really love that. And so we're speaking a lot about men's wear, but you also work with women also, so that our ladies know that you're out there for them also. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the ladies, I think there is a lot of missed opportunity working with the ladies in the suit space.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't see that many clothiers. I don't see that many clothiers, especially in Arizona, wanting to work with the ladies and developing them, especially in the professional area. You know, I see there's a lot of value add that we can bring as House of Donaldson to the ladies. Again, have really, really nice pumps, real nice flats, blouses, and suit dresses. Ladies want to be empowered. They want to look sharp. They want to feel good about themselves. So I'm here for it.
Right. You know, the power suit. I mean, that's one thing that makes a woman feel powerful is being able to strut in her power suit.
That's it.
And I saw one of the suits that you designed for one of your customers. It was a pink and black.
Oh, yes.
That was really nice.
Thank you.
Really
Thank
nice.
You. Thank you very much.
So what's coming up next for House of Donaldson?
So June 5th, we'll be at Phoenix Convention Center doing the Arizona Bridal Show. Coming up, we have also prior to that via Moda, we're going to be doing something giving back. You can check that out in my bio. It's going to be a charity, but we're also presenting a fashion show there.
Okay.
And then I have potentially something on the 19th that I'll be doing for June 19th. Okay. And so I'll be doing the fashion show there as well. So all those events will be, you can follow at House of Donaldson on Instagram, and everything is there, or houseofdonaldson.com.
Right. And you know what, that's one thing with your field of specialty. There's really something going on every month that someone may need that special attire. So House of Donaldson, whether it's Being Dapper, you're there for them.
Either way.
So what advice would you give to an aspiring designer?
Okay, I would give start right away and plan very well. Seek out people that are more successful than you. Knock on those doors. Be anxious. Don't shy away from mentorship, and don't shy away from paying for mentorship. I think a lot of folks don't. They say, "Oh, I'm going to YouTube," and that's fine. But a lot of times you can spin your wheels, so you can save yourself a lot of heartache by actually seeking subject matter experts and be willing to invest into yourself and your business. That way you're successful.
I love that. I love that advice that you give, because a lot of times when people think of mentorship, they're thinking of something. Oh, I'm going to go and ask JC to do this, and it ain't going to cost me nothing. But order for you to get to that next level, it's going to always cost you something.
That's the cost of doing business.
Right.
Right.
And that's a mindset we need to get away from.
Mm-hmm.
But I love those tips that you gave because mentorship is really important.
Totally
It
important.
saves a lot of wasted time that, hey, JC has already done knocked that out and he knows what he's doing. Why wouldn't you want to ask for his assistance? Because there's nothing you can take from him or he can take from you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're two different people.
Agreed.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So where can our audience find you?
You can find me on Instagram at House of Donaldson. So HOUSEOF Donaldson, DONALDSON. On Instagram, houseofdonaldson.com. And either platform, you can book an appointment in the bio, or you can book an appointment on the website.
Okay.
Everything's very transparent. There, it shows you our process, who we are as a company. It shows basically you can also book an appointment there. It talks about the ladies suits as well.
Mhm.
You can see kind of there's a gallery there for you to check out, and anything else and any events that we have. You also can subscribe to a newsletter. So want to do that so you can get the discounts and so forth.
Yeah. Okay. I do. I hope you don't mind that I go back to the ladies thing because
Okay,
you know what,
absolutely.
Miss Kathy will be contacting
Okay, I'm
House of
looking forward to
Donaldson.
that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Sometimes because I've worked with women before, sometimes women are a little uncomfortable. Their confidence isn't there.
Mhm.
I mean, there may be things that they're uncomfortable with their bodies or
Mhm.
anything and may not feel comfortable working with a male.
Mhm.
How would you handle that?
I'm gonna have you work with my seamstress then.
Okay.
So again, it's a team. Together, everyone accomplishes more. That's critically important. There's no I in team, right?
Mhm.
So my seamstresses are really the ones that will be dealing with you because that's their specialty.
Mhm.
I'm just the architect. They're the hammer and nails. They're critically important to House of Donaldson. The embroiderers, the tailors, they're all. That's why we call it a fashion house.
Okay.
It's not just me. We have our illustrators in there.
Right.
So you know what I mean, like renderers. I feel like they'll be comfortable
It's
because
a house.
it's the house. It's
Yes.
a fashion house. It's exactly what we're doing.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. So, okay, you have Miss Kathy coming in here to see you.
Mm-hmm.
She may not know what look she wants or what color scheme,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I mean,
What's the process?
yes, tell us about
I
the
want to learn more
process.
about you and what are you trying to do and what are you trying to say. Let's just start there, right? Because you might be a little bit more conservative. Okay,
Mhm.
you might be you want to be making more of a statement when you're walking around. Okay, so we need to understand what are you ultimately trying to do in your lifestyle, and once we can figure that out, then we can build you a piece. I build you a mood board. Then we first get your measure because I need your measurements, right?
Right.
In order for me to make this masterpiece for you, right? Or add on to the masterpiece, which is you, right? So I need all those things, and then from there, we're set. And then it takes about 30 to 45 business working days. We're not responsible for acts of God or war attempts, especially because we're in a state of war. But we do our very best to deliver upon that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, speaking of things that may occur in taking 30 to 45 days, where do you get the majority of your where is the most of your production done? Is it here in Arizona or
It's mixed.
Mixed?
So we have the United States, and then we have eight partners around the world.
Oh,
That could be Spain, Italy. It could be Thailand. It could be many different places around the world. And that's again, I did that on purpose because of redundancy and also specialty. It could be United Kingdom or Germany. So we have a very robust supply chain that will have great partners that will work with us.
Okay.
And will make your luxury good fantastic. Make that special moment memorable.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you get your creativity from?
My mother.
Your mother?
Yes. She owned a graphic design firm for 20 years. My parents did. But she has a degree in graphic design from the University of North Texas. She's a sculptor and a painter.
Okay, Mama Donaldson.
Yeah. So made sure that I was very immersed into the arts, classical music, ballet, modern art, and I understand all the different mediums. My mom always said, you need to understand the rules. Once you understand the rules, you can break them. That's what fashion is.
Okay.
So again, it's expressing yourself through cloth, through fabric.
So I would assume, because there's sometimes it's like, oh, what am I going to do next?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2023 is coming,
Mm-hmm.
so that I would imagine all those mix of exposures and creativities help you on moving to the next level.
Sure.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Appreciate that.
And you know, that is one thing we have to remember. You know, we didn't get here alone.
No.
You know, a lot of times people are me, I, whatever. No, mom and dad had some work in there also.
Also,
Or
don't
those
shout
instructors
out to the consultants too.
Yes,
Shout out to the consultants
right.
and the mentors. The mentoring, the toolage. You need that.
Right. Well, it was such a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
And
Hope to come back again.
Yes, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us today here on Desertwood Day for season 2. And we'll catch you next time. Donaldson.
Okay.